Hello, hello, hello. Great, beautiful, blessed afternoon. I always want to say morning. Why? Why? Great, beautiful, blessed afternoon. Let me make sure everybody can see me. Can we see me? Can we see me? Oops. I'm 100% voice recording myself on accident. All right, y'all. Let me know where you are tuning in from and can you see me? Can you see me? Welcome to episode 195. Can you believe I'm almost at episode 200? That's outrageous. That's outlandish. Let me see if I can get Tickety Tockety on board with us here. It's like the ADHD of it all is that I get myself together and then I think I'm together, and then 3.5 seconds before I go live, 400 more things come to my mind that I need to do. So, hey Malika, what up, NYC? Miss you, girl. All right, guys. Thank you so much for chiming in. I should be live. If you see me, I should be live on Facebook. I should be live on Instagram. I should be live on YouTube. So holler at a player. Let me know that I'm coming in through all of those channels. Hello. So welcome to Happily Healed with Tenille. And I am Tenille. I guide people through reclaiming their identity and designing a full life even after diagnosis. And today, I want to talk about a few things when life doesn't go as planned. So, as y'all probably know, I don't know where you are, but in America, I seem to have a bunch of people who are not from America, but in America, we had Father's Day yesterday, and it was a mixed bag, okay? Because I have a friend who lost her father literally less than a month ago. And then I've got me, which November will make 10 years of my father being gone in the earthly realm. And it is such a mixed bag because I am going on the 10th year and I literally have zero idea how I'm going to feel from holiday to holiday. Because sometimes the holiday comes and I feel totally fine. And sometimes the holiday comes and I feel like, Lord, wow, this is so hard. Yesterday I was home alone with grandma because Sundays is usually my day to be home alone with grandma. And if you don't know, my grandmother has dementia, Alzheimer's dementia, and she requires full-time care, which is, a pleasure. It is something that I'm returning to her because when I was sick, I spent a lot of time in that lady's bed. Okay, she took care of me, but now it's an honor and a privilege, as much as it is not easy to take care of my grandma, right? So I'm with her on Sunday. So in my mind, just like any other time, once I've had shingles and I was taking care of grandma, and it's in my mind very important that I'm paying attention to her and not whatever's going on with me, because sickness is gonna come, sickness is gonna go. How I take care of my grandmother is what's gonna be of the highest importance to me. So yesterday I had thoughts of, could we break down and cry today? Just like real, like let it all out, cry. But then the after effects of that for me are like I feel extra drained. And if I'm already starting behind the goalposts, then it's not in my best interest to let those emotions take me over. However, I was writing posts and stuff like that. Hi, welcome to the pod. I was writing posts and stuff like that, captions that were like emotional. So I shed a few thug tears, but I did not allow myself to go all the way left in that way that I could have gone, right? Which I'm proud of myself for. Oh, TikTok, you're in my way. It's fine. We're just not gonna have a microphone. So how did you guys cope with Father's Day? Was it like an amazing celebratory day, or was it hard for you? Best friend. Hey, best friend. Let me see what my notes say, because I could be going on a tangent. I really feel like I organized points to talk about on this podcast, but I did. Okay. Awesome. I'm a segments, guys. I'm a profesh, you know? So when in life have things gone completely to schedule, to plan? Like you planned it and it was exactly how you envisioned it. Examples. Lupus. Ever. A career change. I have been forced into is that the word? I've been like put into more of a corner that I didn't really have a choice other than to change, and the only thing that's really guaranteed is change. So career changes, I will rock with what I'm rocking with until forever and ever, amen. Like it needs to be something drastic that happens. I want to get away from that. Needs to. It has been in the past something drastic that's happened to like push me into one direction or the other. So like making no decision, like indecision is a decision, and having a career or having like if you are unhappy in a workplace and you refuse to make a change, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, will push you out of that situation if it's really killing you and you are not making a change. So like when I worked in the field nutrition and I didn't like it, but I was new. I had just gotten my degree. They want you to have more experience to get better jobs, whatever. And the community that I was living in, the nutrition community especially, was very small. So I had to get my name out there in my eyes. So I took this job I didn't like with people that were mean to each other. The lady who trained me was crying on the first day that I was working there because it was stressful and people were mean. So I was already spooked, right? And I went on vacation that I had prior, scheduled. And I came back, and the whole way to work, I'm just crying. And I'm like, why am I dreading going back to this place so bad? And I got there, and they were like, yeah, I think we've made a decision. We're going to, we don't need this position. We're going to let you go, da, da, da. And I was like relieved. I was like, I should be sad or upset that I don't have this job, but I was more glad that I don't have to pay $12 tolls back and forth for a job that I was only making $12 an hour with a whole degree. So like sometimes life will push you and change your direction even when you don't expect it, number one, and when you're not brave enough to make that jump. Relationships. How many times have you been in a relationship that you knew you shouldn't have been in and it's been expired, you've been over the situation, and you just keep with it because you're like used to it? It's like, nah, like I've been here, I'm gonna stay here for a while. But like your relationship is over for a year, 2 years before leading up to your actual breakup. That's just like, because change is not easy. But remember all the time that change is the unequivocal, like the only thing that is guaranteed is things will change. If you love where you are right now, love it, but just realize that it could change at any second, and you get to choose to love your new place too. I always say, especially since I moved here, I will grow where I am planted. There's no place I can be that's going to stop me from blooming the way I was intended to. So put that in your mind as what's going to happen. Like put that in your illness, in your career, in your relationships. Wherever you're meant to be is where you're going to be. Make sure you're your best no matter where you end up, okay? Travel plans I put as an example. Girl, boy, ma'am, sir, it's inevitable that traveling is going to be some kind of adventure that you didn't plan to go on. Good night. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. Love that you were here from India. Hope you have a wonderful night. Oh, thank you so much. This is my dad's ringside jacket from one of his boxing days. It has his name on the back. It's pretty fancy, pretty cool. Travel plans all the time. Travel, like you are at the mercy of the airlines, of transportation, and place that you don't live. Like it is always an adventure. And I only got to understand this after really, really traveling by myself. When you're traveling with like family, you don't realize that your super moms, your warrior moms, are doing all the planning behind the scenes, like getting it together. And then when you're doing it yourself, you're like, oh my goodness, like this is scary. Like this is so much. Then you get used to it and you realize pivot, like you just do the things, right? So most of us like spend a whole lifetime planning plan A and clinging so hard to plan A. I'm gonna be this healthy. I'm gonna be married by this time. I'm gonna have this many degrees. I'm gonna work like this. Blah 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 blah. And God, universe, whatever you believe in, tells you, no, sit down. This is what we're doing. You know, like I was on a podcast yesterday. Y'all go catch that replay. It was a pretty good podcast. The visuals were off, but the podcast itself was good. One of the questions at the end were like, if you never got sick, do you think you would be where you are right now and doing what you're doing? I was like, absolutely not. The one thing I did not want to talk about is being sick. The one thing I did not want to identify as was the sick girl. To me, that was so offensive. It was so like they don't need to talk about that. We can talk about anything else. I can sing, I can dance. I do this and I do that. I'm a smart person. It was offensive to me to talk about being sick and how I handle being sick or, any of that. So if it was up to me, really, really up to me, I would never have started talking about this at all. They wouldn't even know that I heard of lupus. I'd be like, lupus? Oh, that's weird. Never heard of that. Like to me, this is a calling. It is something that I was thrust into that I really didn't see coming in any way. And I'm grateful. At this point, I'm grateful. Let's see. What else did I have to say? Okay. So let's talk about the myth that is the perfect plan. When you start with plan A and then it really turns into Z, plan Q, you know what I mean? Like any of those that are not plan A, because clinging to that plan is what really hurts the people. It's not the change itself. It's the picture that you had before the change, right? And sometimes when you are clinging so tightly to plan A, you miss out on all the crazy, beautiful opportunities that come through the rest of the alphabet. There's sometimes you were meant to be, all the time, you were meant to be exactly where you were. Your duty now is to find that workaround, find that loophole, find the reason that you are where you are. There's always a reason. There's always, you would never have met somebody if you didn't go here and do this. And, even though it was inconvenient, like I was listening to a YouTube video the other day, and it's like all these things that intuition got people out of or into that they never would have gotten to, like people who missed their train or whatever and ended up not being in the World Trade Center for 9/11 or all kinds of stuff. Like it's really important to understand your own intuition, your own body, your own mind, and listen to them. Like having your mind be in tune with your body is paramount. I heard, that when like you're falling asleep, you can feel yourself falling asleep, does that happen to anybody? That you can like feel it, that it's happening, like, oh, it's happening. That's what happens to me. I'm, classic insomnia person, and my body will be fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. And like, I will lay still enough and I'll feel it. I'm like, oh, it's happening. Like, I hope it happens, and it's like that for a lot of things. So I think as long as we're listening to our body and listening to our minds, our spirit, like identify, like be present in the moment, breathe deeply, be present. And if it goes against what the plan was, let it be. And now I don't mean when you're accomplishing goals, or like, I don't mean my body says I shouldn't go to the gym today. That's not what I mean. Don't blame me for that. Like if I stick to the plan, okay, I'm going to stick to my word. I am a woman of my word. However, sometimes things just go left. Sometimes things just are not working the way they are. And it's important for you to be able to identify when you need to pivot. Yes, Brandon, warrior mom. Pivot, and when you need to push through. And that's with your energy and your health, as well as business plans, travel plans, all those things. Like, it's so important. That's why, like, it's so interesting about when you're a young person and before your brain fully develops. Um, these are useful things that you really need to focus in on way more when you're not fully developed in the brain. Like, this is not something I knew at 20 something, even though that was at that time, my worst for the date. I was in like early 20s. So, y'all, this is something to really hone the skill on. It's a skill. It's literally a skill. Girl, it's out of your control. You need to let go. That's exactly what it is. Be flexible. When I work my events that I travel with my travel group, we say be flexible, like the car wash noodle guy. The guy who's like in the wind at the car wash or car salesman places. Be like that, because you definitely have the ability to be rigid, and sometimes being rigid is what will break you. Like, you snap off like an icicle instead of being, flexible like a rubber band. You could shoot yourself in the foot. You could really mess it up. So, I would like to know in the comments, what happened? What do you do when plans drastically change and you, what's your first instinct? Are you panicking? Are you really PO'd? Are you like super sad and disappointed? Are you ashamed? Are you feeling like, oh, I'm so behind? That was my default, is that if I wasn't panicking, I was like, oh, everyone's doing this and I'm here with that, especially getting sick as a teen / early 20 something. I really felt so behind. Like, I already took time off of school, right? I didn't go. I went to college for 1 year, and then I was like, let me take some time off because we moved. And then I felt so behind after I got sick. And every time after I had gotten out of the hospital, I felt like, oh my good, like, I am so behind. This is the reason why I started doing the coaching, to eliminate that feeling and feel like you have some kind of control over the things that you actually have control over. Because there's so much we don't have control over, but the things we do, take control of it. Like, control the controllables, and everything else is not your business. Pay attention to everything going on, but don't dwell on the things that do not serve you, right? If you are focused so hard on things that are unchangeable, you're wasting time and missing all the things flying by you that are changeable. That's in chronic illness, that's in life, that's in everything, literally. So, why do we act like changing directions is completely taking you off course? It's failure if you change directions, right? Like, when you were little, what did you want to be? Who were you planning on being when you grew up? I told my counselor I was gonna be a lawyer. I was like, I'm really good at arguing. I'm gonna be a lawyer. Mind you, at that time I was doing singing competition every weekend. But I was like, I'm great at arguing. I'm gonna be a lawyer. Okay. Like, the way that the brain works is crazy. And like, who I am now, I wouldn't trade for being a lawyer. Like, I think my life's pretty, it doesn't suck. Like, I'm pretty all right now. So, changing plans, adjusting to a plan, pivoting does not mean that you have failed. It means, you control the controllables, and now you get to continue to make your life what it is meant to be. Your plant your feet and balloon, baby. Balloon. So I'm going to give a list, a couple things, maybe 3 things, maybe 4 things, 3 or 4 things that I do when there's a big change that I wasn't prepared for. And I'll give an example. Okay. So, one, when life throws me a curveball, I find it very, very useful to pause before I have a reaction. That pause could save your life. That pause could save a relationship. People burn bridges every day with doctors, with family, with all kinds of stuff because they have a knee-jerk reaction that they didn't even think about controlling. They're just like, oh, this happened, da, da, da. Pause. Breathe. Not every problem requires an immediate solution. Sometimes you can let something marinate and even sleep on it, okay? Sleep on it and make an informed, rational decision. I mean that with things that doctors have told me to do. There's some treatments that I have been told I must do this, that, and the other. And I said, let me think about it. Let me talk to some people. Let me research it. Because people are so stuck in fear that they will go ahead and do a thing and then regret it, lose a limb, start a treatment that the side effects are worse than what they had. And it's because they didn't ever pause. They just listened to what somebody said and were like, immediate action. They scared me. I'm doing this. That is not always the right way. Sometimes you need to take a real look in the mirror and be like, do I really need this? Is this of my character? Is this of God's plan for me? Is this, something that I'm not gonna regret long term? Okay. Another thing, I have this on my wall. I do the BART method. So, or even The Work by Byron Katie. I do the work where I ask, what is this true? Is this really true? I'll put the work in the chat because I that website has saved me on multiple occasions. But even like, is it true that all these negative things that I'm thinking are what it is, right? So like, okay, I'm diagnosed with a thing versus I'm sick and I'm going to die. What is really true? What is really true? Am I diagnosed? And like, that could be the cause of my death, just like getting run over by a bus. It could be. Yes. Is it imminent death right now? I'm facing the barrel of a gun. No, it's not. So that panic over a diagnosis can subside and you can think rationally again. Because when the fear goes up, intelligence goes down. You just panicking and like, oh, I got something. It's a waste of your time. Please skip to part B where you find a rational explanation and do something, right? Remind yourself you are loved, you are capable, you're alive right now. Whatever's going on down the road, that's not your focus. Get present, take some deep breaths. Leave room for unexpected opportunities. So a lot of times something I pray just under my breath, just under like, Lord, let me see the opportunities in this situation. Because sometimes, like I said it before, you're so focused on the negative thing that's happening, the big change or the scary thing, that you miss some amazing people and things and opportunities that are right in front of your face. That is why I remind myself and pray that little prayer, just like, Lord, make me aware. Let me see the opportunities in this situation right now. Because there's just no telling, like, what you could miss out on because you were so focused on the thing that you perceived as bad at that time, right? People have met their spouse. People have saved their lives, saved children, all kinds of stuff. Because even though something they didn't plan was happening and they were like bummed about it, they still have their eyes open enough to see the opportunity in it. So I remind myself, and do that. Remind yourself as much as you can. So give yourself grace. I feel like I've said that in every episode forever and ever. Amen. Give yourself grace. It's so interesting because the people who I see give themselves no grace and they give everyone else so much grace. Like, oh, they kicked me in the head. It's fine. Like they must have something on their shoe. I'm glad to help. And then to themselves, they're like, how could I do that? All I did, I burned the toast. Like it's crazy. And from watching from the outside in, um, you can see it very clearly. But watching it from the inside out, you can't see the issues from inside the house. So like, I'm here to remind you, give yourself grace today. The situation that you think is so terrible, look at it. If your best friend, if your mother, if your loved one, your child is doing that thing, how would you react to them? Right? Would you curse and yell and be pissed? No, you would be like, oh, poor baby, poor ma, poor dad. Like, give yourself grace. So focus on the next step. Focus on the next right step, the next thing you can do in that position that can possibly help you. Something when you're in motion, at least for me, when I'm in motion, I always feel like I'm closer to solving the issue. So if I am just stuck and stagnant in my mess, in the problem, I feel worse than if I'm doing something that's proactive that can take my mind off of the situation, even though it has something to do with the situation. I'm not saying get completely distracted and do something ridiculous that has nothing to do with anything. I'm saying something in that same realm, get proactive in that, right? So like chronic illness, I felt the most proactive. I was focusing on all of my healthy parts or controlling the controllables of the health in my life, right? I'm not focusing on the illness in my life. I'm focusing on the health of my life. And calculating or looking at all of the evidence that my body is working properly and where it is working properly, instead of focusing on all the parts that are not working properly. Make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Somebody let me know in the chat if that made any sense at all. Looking at labs and seeing what the healthy markers are for my specific body and going to see what I can increase and what I can decrease that needs to be balanced out. Does that make sense? Okay. I don't know how many that was. 4, 5? I don't know. But what this whole podcast is chronic illness has really taught me to be super flexible. I think even in the beginning of chronic illness, I was very rigid in how I thought things were supposed to be. I know this is, still Alex Stewart. And Daddy used to always say, he would sound the most British to me when he would say, it's not right, it's not right, that's not right. Like that was something he said a lot, that he had a picture of what he thought was moral and right and just. He had a big sense of justice. And that was something that really irked him when people were doing things that were not right. And growing up with that in the background of my life, I had a very this is the right way to do it. And I think everyone probably does, right? Like what they think is the right way. Sometimes it's not the right way, and you're just learning that that's just a way. And there are several other ways that could also be the right way. And health is a very big thing. What might be right in your eyes or in your experience or in your body for your health might be wrong in someone else's health and body and system. Oh, the BART system. It's a way to solve problems. It's huge on my wall right now. Because I want to keep remembering that that's the way I'm working through problems right now. So can you, number one, it's breathe, bless, and release. Okay. So can you acknowledge and welcome the feeling, emotion? So whatever it is that you're trying to solve, can you acknowledge this is the problem? Do you understand that this is, what you're talking about? Can you be there can it be there as long as it needs to be there? So you're not trying to just push it out, trying to not listen to your problem, ignoring it, pushing it to the back and then never solving it? Can it be there, right? Can you let it go? Can you actually acknowledge the problem, feel the problem, and then bless that and let it go? And if you can't, and will you let it go? Is that possible for you? Will you let it go? And then when will you let it go? And they usually say at the end, like, when would now be a good time? And it's usually like when you start, it's with someone else and they ask you these questions and you talk it out. And it's a process, really. Like, it's not something super easy to grasp right away. However, it has got me through a lot. And the more that you do it, the more you get faster at it. It's easier to organize it in your brain. And the more you can help other people go through that also. But yeah, so chronic illness has forced me to stop measuring my success by perfect execution or perfect like situations, and made flexibility a huge part of my life, where I was like, as much as I'm a little willy-nilly ADHD, like, there are things that I pictured that I thought I knew exactly how it was going to go, and it's just not so. And that's, it can be jarring. It's also proven to me, like, I trust God. I trust myself. I trust my body. I trust my body to be able to take care of me. And I trust that my next breath is going to come in, and I trust that all pain is going to end at some point. So those are huge for me. I really hope that this episode helped you in any way. I'm going to post those things. I'm going to post the BART system, bless and release. And I'm going to post Byron Katie's The Work, because both of those series of questions really helped me to wrap my mind around problems or big changes, or help me wrangle my emotions, because emotions can genuinely make you sick. Being like super depressed or angry or holding those emotions, they are in your body. The body keeps score. The body knows what's going on in your mind. And it's very important for us to wrangle ourselves in this way and keep ourselves in check. You deserve to have a beautiful, amazing life. And we don't get to control every chapter of it. But if we are controlling the things that we actually can control, we can do a world of good. And one of the things you can't control, my brothers and sisters in Christ, you can control signing up for my masterclass. So if you have yet to sign up, what are you doing? It's tomorrow. Let me put the flyer up. It will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me see if my photos want a photo today. And it is called From Illness to Brilliance, How to Rebuild Your Health, Energy, and Life, the vegan edition. Because I am the vegan. I'm a filthy vegan for 10 plus years. And I would love to have you. These discussions are, elaborated on in these classes. And I'm just ready to help whoever really needs help. And as many people as I can, as free as I can, I would love to do just a world tour of like helping my people do what they need to do and get the lives that they deserve. This is not, just fluff. This is legit ways that I help myself that I know can help other people. I've seen it help other people. So what you eat is very important. What you treat your body like, how you speak to yourself is very important. It is not, none of those things are out of your control. So make sure you are signed up. Make sure that you have all your notifications, alarms, get the text messages, get the the emails, get on the list because we are changing lives. We are changing lives. We are acknowledging that we are allowed to live extraordinary, beautiful lives, even with some kind of diagnosis. That's what what is it? One monkey don't stop no show. I remember that old people say you eat a sandwich. That's awesome. I love that for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What's in the sandwich? We'll talk about that later. Talking about TikTok people. Yes, you're registered. You're registered. I love it. Yeah, everybody put who's registered in the comments. I have the links everywhere. I'm going to continue to hit it hard. Like, if you need me, if you know someone who needs me, reach out in the DMs, even though the registration link is everywhere, in every bio that I have. So let me know that you are coming. I would love to see your beautiful faces. I would love to have a real conversation. I'd love to talk back and forth instead of reading all the comments. But thank you so much for being here, guys. This was incredible. It is a great day to be happy. Thank you so much for your comments on TikTok. I appreciate everybody who stopped by. You guys, stay happily healed. Bye.